Hi guys, here I am again, your host in this program, Money on Missions. Okay, I know I've been here for two times, and if you've missed the 2 times, you can always go back into this the handle and see the other two where we talked about this means defining money market versus education plans. And we also talked about the 5 major places where you should have financial goals. Today, I just want to address this issue of money, the issue of money. And what is money? Actually, money, interesting that money has emotions. When you think about it, it's a truth that it does have emotions. Money is interesting that it in a way, even as you see from day-to-day life, that money loves movement. Yeah. So that when you leave in the morning and then with some money, when you come back in the evening, you have less of that money. Sometimes you're not having bought what you really needed in those things you bought. Yeah. So you find yourself having money that you don't know where it goes to. Sometimes for other men who are married, you find that Monday mornings are interesting mornings because you find you have in your wallet and you're like, man, I can't seem like to find my money. Somebody must have sneaked into my wallet. But ideally, you cannot put your finger on the money that you spent on Friday night, buying your friends drinks and giving to that guy, your friend who's in need generously. So you can't reconcile all that. So you think, you wonder in the morning on Monday, did somebody enter my wallet? And those are mostly married men. Interesting that even scripture talks about it talks about money and how it loves movement. Interesting, even it gravitates to those who have more, because it says that it's biblical that those who have will be given more. Yeah, so those who have much more, they'll be given much. They'll be given more, and even those who don't have, and whatever they think they also have, even that will be taken away from them. So it gives to somebody who has more, and that is money. Money matters. Yeah, consider even when you go to consider when in a society, and how society has made this issue a real issue. You find where this buying of water, yeah. So you have this water, which is mineral water, yeah, and you find in the upmarket areas, people buy a 1 unit, which is roughly 1,000 liters, so for 100 bob, yeah. So that means for every unit, for every liter is a 10 cent. Whereby you find in another area, which is a poor area, the poor buy a 20-liter jerry can for 20 bob. So this guy has bought per liter a shilling. This is the poor guy, where this rich guy has bought a liter for 10 cents. So you find that money also has a thing, it oppresses even the poor, because the poor buys something that's not of quality 100 more times than the guy who's a rich man buys a quality product. And you find even this not quality product that the poor is buying, he's buying from a rich man. Oh God, how is that? But it happens. That is all about money. Then you find, that's what we call the poverty tax, where you find that the poor pay extra money, yeah, for what a rich man buys. That's a poverty tax. Yeah. Again, you find, as you say, money has it's emotional. When people are introducing themselves and they find it's easy for them to say what they do, what if this question changes and they're asked how much money they have in their account? Yeah, that will make a difference. Would you be quick enough to say, here, I have 100,000 shillings. Here, I have 100 bob balance in my account. Or rather, would you want to be the last one to answer that question? It brings mixed emotions, yeah, true? So you find people who withhold information about when it comes to money. Interesting enough that even when people are dating, Yeah, people are dating, courtship. Money issues is a no taboo. Even in the society, money issues are no taboo. Do you know how many times do you tell your children that this month I earned this much? Hardly do you do that. Do you disclose your payslip to your child, to your children? And again, remember how easy it is when you go to a doctor, you go to a lawyer, how easy it is to disclose this information. But when it comes to your spouse, oh God, it is a no completely. When it comes to your family, it's a no completely. Emotions that come with money. It makes you feel angry when you don't have it. It makes you feel anxious when you don't have it. Stressed, powerless, irritable, unhappy, fearful when you don't have it. Interesting enough. But when you have it, the story changes. When you have it, it reverses how you feel. You feel like you are joyful, happy, excited, you're stress-free, you're powerful, you're courageous, you're confident, you rest. Sometimes even restless and stress-free, etc. Sometimes somebody was saying people actually, when they have money, they feel, when they don't have money, they feel angry, okay, and condemned. Whereas sometimes when they have money, they feel guilty. Is that you? So that what happens therefore when you feel guilty, you feel obliged to give it away. Yeah? Think about it. Last time you had a good amount of money. I know I've been there. I thought actually my answer was that I was creating relationships. Yeah? That was me. That was I thought. I gave it, thinking that I'm creating relationships. But you see, when you have a mindset that is a wellness mindset, you're asked to grow that money. God allows you to come across such money so that you can grow it. Why? It's a matter of accountability, stewardship, yeah. You're meant to keep it and grow it, yeah. Because you see, for my example, let's say I gave away in a span of 6 months. I'd given most of it. Why did I not know that even today? That was like 2 years ago. Now, but still today I'm still here. Don't I think? Well, right now I could have understood and seen I've grown my money. Now I've come to, this is 2 years later, 3 years later, 5 years later, I still have my money and those people are still with me. And Jesus would ask this question. Jesus would say this thing, that the poor will always have with you. Is it true that 2,000 years you still have the poor? Very true. Very true. So does your money have to go in a flash? Or can you keep it and grow it and be a help for a longer period to people than having spent it in a few months and be helpful to a handful? Think about it. It's only wisdom. So you need to grow your money. And that's why you have to think about it. So let guilt not drive you when you have money, because guilt is not a good emotion. Hey, yeah, so we continue. Again, money is personal. How do you get to learn about money? Yeah? How do you get to learn about money? Money was not taught in school, interesting enough. Was not taught in school. As ourselves, we didn't learn it from our parents. Yeah? We keep it away from our children. We don't tell them how much you earn. Is that personal? Yeah, is that personal? You can't declare. If somebody asks you what you have in your bank account, you cannot declare it. Yeah, you cannot. Yeah? And so it's interesting that even that when even our parents didn't teach us about that, about money. It's so personal. Yeah. Another thing is that financial ignorance. Yeah. It creates that personality. It makes you personal. It makes you personal when it comes to money. Yeah. Your management of how you manage that subject. You didn't have it in school or even when you're growing up, and so it's not easy for you to discuss money. Yeah, all that. Money is physical. Yeah, Money is physical because, yeah. Is it true that you can tell a man in their state of money, where they are in their state of money, by how their shoes looks like, their belt, how does it look like? Is it true? Is it true? You answer that. Is it true that you can see a lady with her hair and tell where she is in the time in the place of their month? Is it true that they have that wig which is hanging dear for life? They have that hair with so much growth. Is it true? But sometimes Muhammad Gari would argue and say, you've heard of fake it till you make it. People will borrow to look the part, to play the part. So it's not a foolproof way of looking if somebody has money. Yeah, because some people will borrow to look the part. Okay. Yeah, so money is also a currency of life. It does. King Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, says money answers everything. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it determines how you live, how your lifestyle will look like, how retirement plans will be like. And when you talk about retirement plans, I remember we talked about the big five. Part of this is that, money, it's a God protection. It's how the God protects families. Yeah, it enables supply of basic needs. Yeah, Paul would tell Peter, Timothy, that whoever does not provide for his own family, for his family, especially the people of his own family, is worse than actually it says he denies the faith and is worse than a kafir or an unbeliever or a pagan. Yeah. So you count them as unbelievers. Can you imagine that? That's what God lets you know about money, that it is a currency of life. You need it in life to provide for your family, to make sure the needs are met. Yeah. But only that money can do so much, but yet cannot do so much as well. It cannot handle critical illness. It cannot fix problems. We think you have fixed problems, but they grow out other bigger than those ones. Yeah, they become greater troubles turn out because you think you've answered the first ones. Yeah, so yes, it's not a certain answer. It doesn't certainly answer everything. Yeah. Yeah, some psychologists say that money is a negative motivator. Yeah, that we hope that it will solve all our problems, but only that the problems become greater. Yeah, it's a negative motivator. You can't live life motivated by money. Yeah, but again, you see, even when God is looking at you to create this money, to grow it, He's looking at us and He wants us to make informed decisions. He wants us to represent Him right, so that nobody can shame your God by how you live, how I live. Nobody can call our God unfaithful because you have been unfaithful as well. You have nothing to show for what you do. Then they say, where is your God? He says he's a child of the Most High God, but can we see it? Can we look at it that way? Really, is God really God? Where is He therefore to show Himself on behalf of this guy? Therefore, we misrepresent God in this area, and that's why it's important to grow your money. To grow your money, you have to consider what is your short term, what is your mid-term, what is your long-term goals. Yeah, you have to consider all that. What vehicles are you using? Where are you headed to? What is my safest position? The insurer, what should he know about my money? What important points does they need to know about my money? When I need to expose exactly what my monthly incomes looks like. Am I afraid to tell them? So that indeed they can give you advice. They can coach you. They can lead you. I know you've heard of the 50-30-20 rule, whereby you keep the 50 in issues of expenses. The 30 you need to put a percentage for 30, which will handle your investment portfolio. Yeah, your investment portfolio plus your giving portfolio. Yeah, and then the 20, which is the last part, which is meant for you to put aside for the future. The 20 should be your seed. You put away it for the future. Have you gotten to that point? Do you send 20% of your current earnings to the future? Do you have a vehicle that will put that money into future use? Yeah. Do you put aside some money knowing that this is seed? Remember, the 100% you get, not all of it is bread. Consider this, that 20% should be seed. Seed, why? Because there's a future coming, whether you like it or not. You will find it coming whether you like it or not. Where you find that that you have to put, that the time is coming when you'll be your midnight hours, your midnight moments, when strength has been stripped from you. How do you stand then that time? How do you stand that time? What are you looking at that you're putting now for that time? That is very important, the 20%. And that's why you come in, you find out that you have vehicles to do that for you. What the investments are about. The investments that you go into, is it an insurance? You can even put an insurance policy in that angle, because insurance policies, they talk about the future, the 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years. It speaks about the long haul, when you know that you start acting on them now. We do these things when you're strong. So what do you do when you start the working career at 25, when you're out of that, your mother's house, your parents' house, and you're living on your own, and now you're earning an income? Indeed, you need to put forward. You need to give towards the future. And this is what I'm talking about. When you look at an insurance plan which addresses the 10 years to come, you're wise in doing that. I would leave it there. Let me stop there. And I urge you to think carefully about what you think about the future. Yeah, the future does not mean to have to be that. Does not have to be just the next tomorrow. It can be 10 years to come. 10 years, after 10 years, you can prepare another 10 years. If you're a young person, don't say you're too young. No, start now so that you build an income. When you paid in the 10th year, when the 10th year comes in that insurance plan, it matures, and that money you're given a lump sum, you reinvest it, you reinsure it again, you put it again for future. And remember, an insurance policy is interesting because it insures your life. It assures your life. It puts protection over your life, so that indeed, if anything would happen to you at this point when you have your strength, imagine that strength is stripped from you. What then do you say? Do you say you have put parameters in place? Because these plans, even they address current issues, like things like permanent disability. It addresses things like critical illnesses. Don't you know they can get you at your prime? When you're very prime, you get a diabetic condition, you get a high blood pressure condition. This policy should address these issues at that point. Remember, at that point, your family will not look aside when you have a very big portfolio of investment, a 10 million portfolio of investment, a 20 million portfolio of investment. They'll not say, let's let his life go, we spare the investments. They'll break the investments to take you to hospital. What if you had an insurance policy that you had taken a protection against critical illness, against permanent disability? Imagine the portfolio of the investment will be left intact, whereas the insurer will pay you at your critical illness or your position where you're critically ill or you have a permanent disability. The insurer will kick in while you still have a policy that is ongoing, and therefore you're still protected to the future that comes when it was meant to become. Remember, that is the truth, and that is what you're looking for ahead towards. This is what is in our lives. You cannot avoid it. It is the truth. See you soon. For me to reach out to me, you can reach out to me, and we can talk about these issues, about the plans that are there for you, that are there to drive this agenda of your future and how you pursue your passion about money, talk to me, and I'll give you a guidance. My name is Bryan Rukenya again, and my number is 0720 735 795, and my email address, it will be added